Good evening. How are you doing? So, on your way to find yourself. So, let me see what I have here. Um, can I do this? A little difference? Little difference? I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. That's already a little bit better. So there is no music, there is no candle lit, and there is no incense lit. And this has to do with a post that I made. Do not become slave to distraction. I know that within meditation, it can set an atmosphere or a focal point that people lit a candle so they physically have a light to focus on. But now that candle is not lit, so you have not that distraction to focus on. The incense is not lit, so the smell is not a distraction. So the experience of a pleasant smell is also a distraction. So you can come to sense, meditate, contemplate without distraction. So when it's not the light to observe for your eyes to be distracted, it's not the smell of the incense from your nose to be distracted. Then there is a second thing, and that's, or another thing, music for your ears. So yeah, I'm going to lit a candle, lit the incense, and I put on some music and I'm going to meditate. It's not really going into the non-distracted state. It's more like trying to help you relax. So to help you relax and to come in a meditative state, all these tools can be used. But now we are doing it without music, without lit candle, and without lit incense, just to make sure that we don't have these distractions. And then you will find out that, for example, when you do that outside and you can focus on the distance with your eye, that you can have the farthest view, sort of say, and you don't have the incense smell, and you are sitting outside, you are grounded, you are connected with the center of Mother Earth, and you start to meditate without music, there will be sound. So, first of all, you start to notice maybe the birds whistle, or you hear the sheep, or the horses, or the cows. or the traffic. So to find silence without distraction is a little bit more difficult. And then sometimes to have that experience, people are doing that meditation between 2 and 5 o'clock at night, because then is the less activity. And I noticed that when you shut off, yes, when the earth is starting to uh, calm down and everybody is going to sleep, the earthly noise is lowered. So normally a lot of noise from outside is coming inside your house. People probably are not aware of it. But if you do these practices, then you start to get aware of it. Because, like, or it goes into the night or in the early morning, and you wake up and you have your senses like wide open, you could hear a mouse in the leaves of 1 block away. But you cannot experience that if, um, first of all, you do not get in that state of mind. So you need to have that expansion of your senses, of your awareness. And then you become more aware about what you can see and what you can hear. And then you know that at that time, if you're going to listen to music, you do not need to put the music station that loud. You can lower the volume because you can hear it. And this is also what happened to ancient instruments. So, for example, the dulcimer or the, how did they call it? Strum stick, that are in acoustic instruments that actually have a very low volume output. But in the Middle Ages, you didn't have a highway. So if you would play them now, you would barely hear them. If you play them in Middle Age settings, the population was less, there were no highways, there was not so much noise. And now, with all the industry and all the combustions and motors and et cetera, are creating so much noise that these instruments became almost silent. So then you need to make them electrical. So that is one thing. And hey, well, what is happening with the noise? What is the contribution or differences between now, 2025, and, for example, the Middle Ages? So when there were no cars and no aeroplanes, there was so much less noise and no industry like that. So don't be slave of distraction. So that is actually, like freeing your mind of negative thoughts. And now I'm going to discuss respect and standards. Because these things were coming to my mind, I thought, well, let's go live and talk about it. Because the standards that I have are the borders of my respect. So I use standards to respect myself. So when you trespass these standards, you are disrespectful. And that is how people can border themselves to have their own respect, but also to protect their peace. So you have standards to protect your peace. Because if you free your mind from negative thoughts, you do not want other people to implement negative thoughts inside your free mind. Yes, you don't want that. So a lot starts with communication. First of all, I do not need to explain other people that I have standards because I have them for myself and not for them. If they don't have standards, that's their problem. Yeah, so if you cannot border your own respect, your own peace with standards, like this is the standard how I treat people and I treat others the way I want to be treated. And with that comes respect. But do you have a short attention span and you are not able to give attention to words of wisdom, to words from the enlightened hierarchy? Well, well. So the silence we use when we free our mind from negative thoughts and we are not distracted, then the silence is used to give you that space and time to think clearly about yourself in this moment now, to be aware that you are yourself in this moment now is very important because that is the real you, and the real you only exists in the moment now. The real you does not exist tomorrow. The real you does not exist yesterday because tomorrow did not yet arrive and yesterday is already gone. So it must be true that the real you is only living in the now. So, slave of distraction with a short attention span, that is what people do on YouTube, on TikTok. Scrolling. Doom scrolling, they call it. Scrolling in the end times. Well, you can endlessly scroll. One for the money, two for the show, three for the scroll. So, when you take your time to think clearly, then you also are able that when you said that, that you could do some study, some research. So you free your mind and you open your mind and you are aware that you are the real one in the moment now. And then you can start to value yourself. You can start to love yourself. Yes, you can do all these things that are giving shape and form to the real you in the now. And what is the real you going to do? Is the real you going to be kind? Is the real you going to be positive? What did you say in the morning to yourself what you were going to do? Did you do that? And were that positive and kind and beautiful things to enrich the world with your presence? And that's where you create your aura. That's where you create your vibe, your radiation to other people. So, to become aware leads to more awareness if you follow that path. And the more aware you become, the more you get into the knowing. And the knowing is also only in the moment now, because in that moment now is only the possibility for me to ask you a question. And in that moment, you can provide an answer. And I don't know is also an answer. Then we are going to ask somebody else that does know better. So when you love yourself, that will give you a feeling. And that self love should be a standard for other people to love you. They will match that same feeling. And the more you find peace inside yourself, the more you start to love yourself because you are keeping the peace, the more you show respect for your own self in this moment now that you decide, wait, first I'm going to make a point of peace. So let us all do that. Make a point of peace. And then just wait for some idiot to disturb it. And then you might think about how to restore peace. But if we are always in a hurry, always distracted, and we are not paying attention to the moment now, and we are filling that moment now of our own being in like, we wake up, we go to our work, we come back home, we take a shower, we cook, we eat, we are tired, and what are we going to do? 1 hour to the gym. 2 hour watching a movie. And after that, watching series on Netflix until you go to bed. Explain to me in all that time that you could use to be the real you, where the real you is in that pattern that you created during the week. Does the real you wake up in the weekend like, okay, I'm done with work now, I can wake up this Saturday morning and I do not need to work? Normally, you go to work. Did we learn to value ourselves? Did we learn to value ourselves in the moment now, to view ourselves, to love ourselves, to respect ourselves, to be at peace with ourselves? We are no longer waging war against ourselves, and we shine a light from inside, and we do not like that to see dimmed. So nobody is going to dim that light. So we set a fire to ignite. And then our minds took a flight into the starry night. And when you are at peace, there will be no fight because you are shapen in the right way, because you are right. And then there were some more words to write. And I suggest nobody drinks 7 Up or Sprite because it's sugary, toxic, and not good for your health. You will die so soon that you will not enjoy your wealth. The same is with the crap shit food from McDonald's, KFC, or Burger King. Don't eat that because you will end up in the mental ring. So, yeah, it's true that certain food is making you mentally in this balance with all these substances, and all these side effects. So, eat healthy is good for your mental state of mind. Yes, have standards and respect yourself. That is the first thing. When you learn that, then you at least have learned what the value of respect is. And that is the way to give others respect. But if you simply give others respect and you are not valuing yourself and you don't have standards as border of your own respect, then one day you need to explain what respect is. Because if we are not aware of each other, because we are slave to distraction, and I'm in a hurry and you are in a hurry, and I'm not loving yourself and you are not loving yourself, and I don't value myself and you don't value yourself, and I have no respect and you have no respect, how do you expect the following communication is going to be? After hi, hi, it's going to be dramatically bad. But if one of the two persons has standards and values himself, loves himself, has standards as the border to protect his peace and to respect himself, and the other one has not, at least the communication goes a little bit different. It's not like hi, hi, dramatically bad. It's like hi, hi, the one that values himself and shows respect, which is not meet up with the standards. So the other one is disrespecting the standards and the value of the other person that loves himself. Then the person that loves himself is saying, well, I'm so sorry. Uh, I have no attention for you. I go look somewhere else. So, do you get it now? Do you know what shift is happening on that moment when at least one of the two does have standards and self respect and self value and protecting the peace that was only growing inside? So, you have peace of mind, peace at heart, and your balance is strong with peace at its center. This is the way that the other person finds out that there are people with standards. So there is enough love in this planet. If everybody would love themselves, nobody would need love. That's true. So a person that does not love himself might need a lot of love from many different people. And they are draining away the love of the people that love themselves. Well, I'm going to sip a little on the water. All that talk talking, eh? All the talking. And you know, when your vibe is not high enough, when your light is not shining, when you do not want to be bothered because you enjoy the devilish ways. When the light is burning inside of you and the flames are coming out of your mouth gets dry. So you need to drink a little bit of water. So now, when you are a slave and you are slave to your addictions, slave to your distractions, I understand that it's difficult to become aware of the real you in the moment now. So that is also at the visuals. Well, people want visuals, distraction. Oh no, you need to have visuals and lights, and you need to have sound in your, and this is what they call and this is what you need to do. You need to have music on the background. You need to have lights and distraction, distraction, distraction. All distraction from the real you. If you want people to listen to your music more intensely, then do not distract it with something else. That is what I would like to say to musicians. But you see, like, if they cannot perform, but they make a lot of money, you get huge clips with distraction because, yeah, the singing was not that well. Let's distract from the singing. A lot of lights, auto tune. But it is very important to have borders for your own respect. Hello, Creek Walker. How are you doing? You still survived. Are you still on the same pot? Did you not flash flooded away? How are you doing, man? That's a long, long time again. And, well, the news that I got from the USA, it seems like it's not really getting any better, to say the least. So, yeah, nice to see you here. So, yeah, we were talking a little bit about different mindful stuff. Because the last time you were digging a thing for water, a water basin or something like that. So I think that's already completed. Yes, it is a mad, mad world. And, people forget who they are in the moment now. And that is actually, it's your real, the real you only exists in the moment now because you don't exist yesterday and you don't exist tomorrow because tomorrow yet needs to come. And we are too much in a hurry. And I think that the system, the way the system is functioning and with the people in power, it's going to be a quick collapse. So they made such a big mess, you can try to create illusions, and is what we are seeing with the meeting in Alaska. It's one big effing joke, but it is not a joke. But if I hear like Ursula von der Leyen and what they are saying is utterly crap, it's somebody wrote the wrong script and they have no clue what the F they are doing. They are not even doing, you know that this is not doing politics. This is somebody says you need to do this. Here is what we print out for you, and you are going to say it. That is what we see. And then Trump is saying, I want to save a lot of lives. Well, that is for the image. Yeah, so we are looking to a clown show full of lies, but people that are so distracted, slave to distraction, they don't know what the F is going on. They cannot see through the lies that are covering the truth. Yes? And I cannot say too much on this platform because, yeah, well, I don't care, even the likes and even the views are just numbers. And a connection is a connection, and that's what matters. But if I look at, if I do say certain things, I know what's going to happen. The number is going to be zero. That's what they do. Yeah. So, yeah, you have your freedom of speech until they come with, hey, Frankie, or community guidelines. Yeah, please give me the community guidelines. And then all the time they change the community guidelines. Yes. Indeed, so much propaganda and misinformation that you do not understand that people are even watching the news. And those are brainwashed people. So I am no longer communicating with people that are watching the news. I don't do that anymore. They are no longer welcome with me because what do, are awake people going to do with brainwashed idiots that dumb themselves down? So I have a standard. Yes. Oh, you watch the news? Oh, yeah, you're going to tell me about the news? If somebody is going to tell me about the news, they need to go to the dentist. I'm going to tell you. Because my ears choose what they want to listen. My ears respect themselves. And if somebody starts like conversation like, and do you know what I hear on the news? It should be immediately pop, 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 dentist. Yes? And that's how you should stand in life. Oh, wait. What did you say? You saw something on your satanic altar that you put on the wall with the biggest screen of course, that you could get to brain yourself with. And you call it a television. And then you dump yourself down with indeed propaganda and misinformation. And I'm like, my ears want to hear music or my ears want to hear mindful stuff. And then you dare to say to me, do you know what I heard on the news? Yeah, sorry, dentist. Immediately dentist. No, me neither, because I can show it to you now, but if you open a news page, the first article, and you only discern negative and positive. First article, negative. Second one, negative. Third one, negative. Fourth one, negative. And they all want you to hate somebody else. The first one, the women need to hate the men because of salary. The second one is the black people need to hate the white people. Yes. The third one is a gender one that need to hate the heterosexuals. And the fourth one is the politics between countries that make you believe, no, here is a border. It's time to hate the people on the other side of this border. Let's bomb them flat. Examples enough: Ukraine, Syria, Sudan, and I've heard some bad stuff in Congo. I didn't know that Congo was known in Africa as the rape country. And then a woman was reacting wrong on TikTok saying like, where is the outrage? Where is this? Or why is nobody protesting? Well, I think Africa is big enough for many protests. So, yeah, why are the Africans not protesting? That is my question too. Yes, that's another card. What they play. Article 5 is indeed negative, and Muslims need to hate Christians, and Christians need to hate Muslims. Uh, and they both call it a religion of peace. No, those are not religions of peace. You can see that clearly. I follow a religion in which I have a border. Yes, I have standards. And one of these standards is not to blow myself up. So maybe I should start a new religion, the not blow yourself up religion. The not blow yourself up, the not set yourself afire one, the do not kill yourself and do not kill anybody else. Yes. And that's so funny, eh? Oh, yeah, this is my religion. Oh, is that your religion? Oh, you have one book? Oh, yeah, you have one book. My religion has dozens of books, not only one. Dozens of books, eh? I have a religion with many books because I do not dump myself down to only one book. Okay, you got that? So make you believe that everything is one book was only the lie to dump you down so you would not look any further. Yes? Engaging you, enslaving you, chaining you, and then sucking the spirit out of you until you are a carcass. And you're not going to heaven either. You're going straight to hell, to the devil, because highway to hell, down the highway to hell. So yeah, today I was doing some karaoke, and I feel a little bit better. I get a little bit more, how do you call it? Energy. I'm getting more well, losing weight. Okay, Creek. Namaste. See you later. So maybe you go live on YouTube or somewhere. I don't know. Let me see what I'm going to put. But where were we? Yeah, to have a clear mind, to have borders, and that is also like so the way I show the respect for myself to other people, I do that with kindness. So, me being kind to other people is respecting myself, is giving value to my standards. And yes, I go by to treat other people the way they treat you. Well, that's not true. I don't go by that. I go by, I treat other people correct with respect. If that's not meet up, then we have a problem. But I have standards not only for other people. No, these standards are in the first place for myself. So it does not matter if somebody else has them or not, they will be known. So these standards and raising the norm is there. And if you do not want to keep up with a raised norm, well, then go look somewhere else. Yes? So the healer is only to able to heal people if they are willing to heal. So the same thing with miracles. I can do miracles, I can do healing, but I can't if nobody is in need of that. Yes? So then I can do it in surroundings, in nature, or on the moments when it is possible. When people ask you that question. But also, these standards should contribute to your own healing, giving you that space for your own healing. But you need to have the discipline to wake up with that purpose, to wake up and wonder. So yeah, I'm wondering a lot of times, and sometimes your mind is just flowing and surfing, and the input is stopped, so you are like free surfing. But all these things come with experience. So if you do not take the time to become your real you, and this is really funny because they train the slave to become somebody else, to become something else except yourself. Yes, and that is the wrong way I see of education. Education to children should start with raising the norm, having standards, having behavior. That should be the beginning. Teach them to love themselves, to respect themselves, to have standards, and to make them standards known. And then sometimes these moments of silence, probably easing the mind, and that is also, soul searching. Get to the core of yourself. But if you do not want to ask yourself the question who you are, and that is why people searching to be something else than what they are or who they are. So they want to be Batman or Spider Man or Superman or He Man or the villain or an Avenger, Iron Man, Thor. They want to be gods and queens and princes and princesses and kings and emperors. And that is actually really immature. It's not the real you, it's the fake you. Yes, and that's what people putting in front of their names. It's only showing ego of an empty shell that does not value itself. If you ask me, if I see that, for example, on TikTok, I am queen, blah, blah, blah. I am king, blah, blah, blah. And me, Frankie, being honest to himself, asking, of which kingdom are you king? Obviously, they did not expect the question. Obviously, there was no kingdom. And obviously, that question might have upset the ego. And then Metallica had made that song King Nothing. But yeah, So, what are we going to do? Are we going to complain about other people? No, the real me. So, this is the real you. So, is your real you in the moment now complaining about other people? Like, for example, you are a Democrat complaining about Trump. Are you producing negative thoughts? And that is what the awareness of the real you is actually doing. Eh? You become aware about what the F are you, and a lot of people are not aware about what they are doing. They are acting like robots. Eh, eh, eh. I eat, I sleep, I go to work. I eat, I sleep, I go to work. I take a shower. I watch movies and series. I go 1 or 3 times to the gym. Hmm. And I still do not know who I am. So try to find the real people. Try to find the true ones. So, yes, I'm trying to find the true chosen ones. And the chosen ones are chosen by the divine hierarchy, which is automatically telling you that it's not specifically to one religion. So there is not one religion that has all the chosen ones. Now, I'm going to tell you, chosen ones are in all the religions, but not all followers of a religion are chosen ones. Most of them are just rotten souls. Because if we were all loving, respectful, kind, beautiful human beings, loving ourselves, loving each other, loving the planet, loving nature, then this earth would be a true paradise. But we are too hateful. We are too much producing negative thoughts. And we only want to kill each other. But then that ancient scripture already said, thou shalt not kill. Well, thou shalt not kill. Do they understand that on the front line, or do we have another set of rules there? Because it seems they do not take any prisoners anymore. And this is really, really, really cruel. Yeah, let's skip it because it's not a good thought. So I wish you all a nice evening, morning, or night, wherever you are. And maybe you watch this back. If you are a true one, let me know. And don't say it out of ego because I know. Yes, I know when I meet a true one. So, yes, most of the time I meet fake ones pretending to be a true one, and they still don't get it. They still don't get it. They still think that it's not them. They still think they are fooling me. They still think that it functions. But I had it seen coming so many times up front that it's laughable. So, anyways, be back soon. Maybe not at all. Maybe I'm going to delete all the accounts, everything, no more cyber identity, or shall I proceed? That's a little bit what I'm thinking because if you view one thing about war, your whole algorithm is putting so many bullshit channels. Enjoy the silence.